Happy Wednesday, everyone. Question of the day. If you overheard a conversation slash gossiping about a friend, do you get involved? Also, what's next for Sean Diddy Combs after his sentencing? We're going to dive in and we're going to get right to it. So, welcome back to my channel. That's it. All right, you guys. So I got approached by someone and they asked me a question um, in regards to gossiping. So this person came up to me and asked me, what do I do in a situation when if I overheard someone talking to a friend of mine and I heard it and it made me feel uncomfortable, and what would I do? Would I tell that person or would I just let it go? And then I asked her, did you tell the person what the other person was saying about that particular person? And she said yes. And then I asked her, what was your whole motive of telling her that? Like, what was the reason for you telling her what another particular person said about your friend? And she paused for a little bit and then she answered, and I'm like, well, you're going back and you're repeating something that someone said, and maybe, and I wasn't there, and I told her maybe you could have took it the wrong way, or maybe that person was being really mean and gossiping about the other person. But why tell the other person? Is it because you're a friend, you're that close with her, and then you just wanted to have her back? In my opinion, they're not really that close, to be honest with you. They met at work. Maybe they hanged out maybe a few times, I'm guessing, outside of work, but it's not like they're best friends. So I asked her, what was your motive of telling her that? And you don't even know what she's capable of in her mindset. Not saying that she will go and curse the person out or say anything, because it's an office setting and it's a job setting, excuse me. But still, like, what was your motive of telling her that? And I told her, for me, if someone told me that, I'd be upset. I'd be upset, and I would look at that person differently, and I would feel a certain type of way that a particular person feels that way towards me, even though I wouldn't really give a shit. But still, you know what I mean? I just know myself. I would probably get upset and annoyed, and I'm like, and then I said to her, what is your intention? Like, why would you say that? Why would you tell me that? That's what I told her. I'm like, what is your motive of you telling me that? Is it to get me worked up and to get me upset and to flip off, to pop off? You know what I mean? Like, what was it? I asked her that. I told her, if it was me, if you would have told me that someone said someone was talking about me and you told me that, I would have asked her, what is your motive of you telling me that? Like, why would you tell me that? Like, you just walk away. And I even told her it just doesn't make any sense, because then you're telling someone and it can cause trouble. It can cause you know friction at a job. It can make someone feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? People talk, people gossip. What you do, you just walk away and you just don't engage and you just don't entertain it. And that's what I told her. Like, there's things that you're not going to like what people say about another particular person. I get it. You're her friend. You're trying to, have her back and ride and die and stuff like that. But sometimes is it even worth it? You know what I mean? Is it even worth repeating what someone else has said? No, to be honest, because you know yourself, you know your truth. Unless they're good friends. Unless that particular person who was talking about the other person behind her back, unless they were like friends and hanging out and doing things together, that's one thing. You know what I mean? I told her, I would have said, you know what? If you're friends with this person, just be careful what you say and what you do. That's all I would have just told her. You know what I mean? If I overheard someone talking about a friend of mine, well, not even a friend, a coworker or an associate, I would tell that particular person, just be careful when you're around her. That's all I would have said. I wouldn't even get into the details or anything, because then it starts trouble. It starts conflict. It just makes everyone feel uncomfortable. That's what I would have said. And that's what I told this particular person. If it happens again, you tell that individual, be careful when you're around them. Be careful what you say and what you do. And that's it. Not to go in great details, because again, you don't know what how people mindset is, and you don't know what people are capable of. Some people, they just pop off and they just say something to that person and they don't really give a damn, whether they're at work or they're at the streets or when they're anywhere. Okay, me, I have more self control, and I would just like whatever, whatever. This person don't know me, so let that particular person talk about any crap about me. You know what I'm saying? But then I would have questioned that person who would have told me what was your motive of telling me in the first place? Because I really don't give a flying shit what anyone says or think of me. The most important people that I really think that I care who thinks of me is God, first of all, my friends, my family, and also my husband. Okay, those are the only people that I care about, that whatever they have to say, that they're relevant. You know what I mean? So I just told her, you know what, just stay away from the gossip. And like, if it was like my good best friends that I've been friends for decades, and I overheard someone said something about that particular person, that my best friend that I really trust and love and care about, I still wouldn't tell. I'm going to be honest. I still wouldn't tell my best friend what the other particular said word for word. I would just say, watch yourself and be careful of the person that you're dealing with. That's all. And if my best friend said, well, why? I don't want to get into it. I don't want to be a telephone. I'm just saying, be careful when you're around that particular person. And that's it. Now, if my best friend kept keep pressure, not pressure, keep pushing me to say, what did she say? What did this person say? I probably would tell her, but if she doesn't press on me about it, then I would just move on and just say, listen, just watch what you say. Just be careful when you're around this particular person. And that's my advice I gave to her. Just tell that particular person, just be careful who you surround yourself with, with someone, an associate, and then just watch what you say. And that's it. But to go back and repeat what another particular say, it doesn't solve anything, to be honest with you. If it makes you uncomfortable, get up and leave. That's it. You don't have to hear the conversation. Just get up and leave, and that's it. Everyone has free will to talk about other people behind their back. It just, to me, it's just tasteful and it's disgusting. And a lot of people, they're not direct. They're indirect. It's good to talk about people behind their back because you don't have that particular person to defend themselves. So it's just a coward move to talk about someone behind their back instead of being direct with the person. Just tell the person how you feel or whatever, whether you're friends with the person or not. And I get it. Some people don't want any conflict. They don't want any trouble. Then don't talk about the person in the get-go. Stop gossiping. I hate gossiping. And I wouldn't say never gossip. I entertained gossiping. I really did when I was younger because I didn't know no better. But now that I'm older and wiser, I will hope, that I don't deal with gossiping. I really don't. And when I see it, I leave because I don't want to entertain the bullshit. I really don't. Life already is tough as it is, and I don't want to deal with the shenanigans and the bullshit with people gossiping. And there's no reason to gossip. And if you have an issue with someone, talk to that person privately, directly, instead of indirectly. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to talk about people behind their back and anything. It's just a coward bullshit move to do. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, I'm going to talk about Diddy, and this is going to be the last time I talk about him because, the trial is over. The judge sentenced him for 4 years and 2 months. Now, a lot of people are saying that he shouldn't have got 4 years and 2 months. He already served a year already in jail, and it should be time served with some community service and probation. But for me, in my opinion, I don't feel like it was enough. But that was a judge decision. The prosecutor wanted 11 years. I thought he probably would have get 11 years. His defense team wanted less. And they were very, very surprised that the judge gave him 4 years. And you know what? 4 years is better than no years. And also, I wasn't there, but one of my friend, Secret Service Sam, he was in New York and he reported the sentencing of Sean Diddy Combs. And I have to say, Sean Diddy Combs was very surprised and shocked that he would have got 4 years because he dodged a bullet of the bigger charges of for him. Not for him. They dropped the biggest charges against him. That's what I wanted to say. And he thought that he'd be off the hook, but then they charged him with 2 felonies of Mann Act, and that's even though it's not big as the RICO charge and among other charges that he what you call it, he won against, but still, he thought that he was going to get out to the point that he scheduled an event in Miami to talk about, things that he's been saved or healed. He's a different man. And I'm sorry, a year in prison doesn't make you a changed man. And that's just my opinion, okay? Even though, like I said in my previous video, his children went up and spoke to the judge, showed them a 11-minute video of Diddy, helping his community with his children. And that's all great. That's all great and dandy. But I like the fact of what the judge said. You had so many opportunities to change your ways, to be a different person, but you continue with your abuse. You continue to use your power and threaten other people. You continue with the freak off when you were arrested in New York. So, and I'm just paraphrasing what the judge said, it made me to believe you have not changed. So if I let you out now, it doesn't, to me, you seem like you have not learned your lesson. And I absolutely agree with the judge, because if he did learn his lesson, he wouldn't have done all those things before he got indicted and before he got arrested, because he was still doing a freak off and a bunch of baby oil and pink cocaine and among other stuff that was in the hotel room, okay? So do I believe he's a changed man? Absolutely not. I don't. Can people change? Yes. Yes, absolutely. People can change if they're willing to do the work and if they're willing to change their life. Now, I believe Diddy learned a valuable lesson through all this, you know what I mean? Because he's a disgrace in his music community. He's a disgrace of everything, you know what I mean? With his children and his mother and people that looked up to him and people that he, take care of. He's a disgrace. And I hope this learns a lesson. Now, will he serve the whole 4 years? No, probably 3, because like I said, he was in jail for a year. So he might probably serve 3 years or 2, but he still needs to be in prison. He really do. He really needs to reform and be a real changed man, because throughout the years, he's been getting off the hook for a lot of things, okay? I'm sorry, but God has spared and saved his life throughout the years. And sometimes things are going to catch up to you in the near future. And things have caught up with Sean Diddy Combs. You can't just continue doing all these crazy things and using your money, your power, your influence to bully people, to blackmail them, to do all this stuff and thinking you're not going to get away with it. I'm sorry, there's consequences for your action. Now, like I said, he did not get life in prison, but he got 4, a year time served, and now he may serve 3 or 2. Now, what's that mean? Because they're saying that he may get out, and that's a possibility. And I heard from the grapevine that people are talking about Trump may pardon him. I hope Trump do not pardon him, because Diddy didn't even like Trump in the beginning when Trump was thinking about back in 2016, I believe, that he wanted to run for president. Sean Diddy was not happy about it. He basically said that, Trump is racist, that Trump was going to ruin our country. And he didn't say very great things about our President Trump, So I don't understand why Diddy now want President Trump to pardon him. I don't think President Trump should entertain that, okay? No, don't even pardon him. I think he needs to stay locked up for a little bit more longer. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me, but it's true. Has he done great things, Sean Diddy Combs, in the past? Yes, he has. He's done things for his community, but that doesn't excuse his actions, the things that he done. You can't say, well, I done this and I done that for my community, but it's okay to beat a woman. It's okay to blackmail, to threaten them, to gaslight them, to do all these things because I did some good things. No, that's not how it works, okay? It does not work that way. You can't do good things and expect to do bad things and think that, oh, okay, it's nice and gravy and you're good. No, there have to be consequences. They have to, people need to have consequences for their action. So what's that mean now? The judge has gave him 4 years and 2 months. He's going to register as a sex offender, okay? That's going to be 10 years. Also, like I said, he's charged for Mann Act charges, transportation, state lines of prostitution. So 50 months in prison. You already served 39 months already. 12 months of credit, time served. So like I said, he probably might spend 2 years in prison, maybe 2 years. But even though he gets released, it doesn't end because he's still going to be in probation for 5 years. Okay, he's going to repeatedly do drug testing. Okay, they're going to test him for drugs and everything. So basically, at the end of the day, the government has control on Sean Diddy Combs until his probation is over and everything. The government have control of Sean Diddy Combs. So even though he gets released for time served, he's still going to be a sex offender. Okay, he's still going to be in probation. So it doesn't change the fact of anything. So if he do any wrong move, because now he has a record. Okay, before in the past, he didn't have a record. So all the crazy things that he has done in the past, he got away with. He was clean because there was nothing stacked against him, meaning he didn't have no record in the past. But now, when he gets out, and if he decides to do anything shady, he has a record. He's on a sex offender registry, okay? He has 5-year probation. So I would think once I get released from prison that I will, be a changed man, just focus on my children, focus on, rehabilitating myself, be a better man, be a better person. Hopefully he has some money left because all the money that he spent on attorney fees and appeals, which to me is nonsense. There's no reason for it to appeal because it stands. This is what the judge said. Unless President Trump pardoned him, which I hope he doesn't. But anyway, anything can happen. But like I said, once he get released, and if he does anything bad or shady, he's going back to jail or prison or either one. Okay, either or. So he has a record. That's good. So now if he does anything criminal, it is going to arrest him. So even though I'm not happy about him not getting served more time, but I guess, the judge had to follow the guidelines and make it fair in the middle. I get that. He's going to serve probably 2 years. That's fine. But at least he has a record, you guys. So some people are not happy about the judge ruling. Some people are upset about it. Some people are thrilled that he's going to at least serve some time. Okay? Unfortunately, the law, our justice system is a slippery slope. Sometimes it's fair, sometimes it's not. And I can get into it more detail on that, but I don't want to because, sometimes we just don't get justice, even though justice should be served for the survivors and also the victims. But hey, we have to take what we can get, right? Right. So, therefore, I'm pleased about it, and we can just put this chapter of Sean Diddy Combs behind us until he gets released. And I hope and pray, honestly, I really hope and pray that once he gets out of prison that he is a reformed man and he will change and do things for good in his community and help others too. And I really do hope and pray that he change, for his children's sake, because he has 7 children. And I just hope that he sets a better example because he could have done all that, but he chose a different route. He chose a dark path. Again, drugs can be involved in this, having money and power and stuff like that. It can float in your head, you know what I mean? That you have all this money and power that you can do whatever you want and there's no consequences for your actions. Like no one can't touch me. No one can't do anything to me. Well, they can, okay? Now, they may not do things to the billionaires, which he was a billionaire, but you get what I'm saying. And I don't want to, you get where I'm getting at. You know what I mean? They like to target certain people and make an example. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But you get where I'm going with this. But anyway, but like I said, I hope and pray once he gets released from prison that he will be a reformed, changed man and he will do something good in his life and make a positive, I want to say energy. What's the word, Apollo? Can you help me out here? A positive, I can't even think of the word, Apollo. Can you help me? You're just looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about, Cheryl? What the hell are you talking about? I'm talking about Sean Diddy Combs. I'm talking about Sean Diddy Combs. A positive outlook. There. See? He just had to stare at me and I just had to look like that. I hope there will be a positive outlook of his situation, that he really, really, truly changed, and he really, really, truly is sorry for all the pain and suffering he has done for all his survivors in the past. And he can just put this thing behind him and move on. Things will never be the same again, especially after watching that Cassie video. He's going to be reminded of him beating that girl in that hallway, in that hotel, in front of the elevator. Okay, that's what he's going to be known for, and also the freak offs and the 10,000 baby oil and all this other stuff. That's what he's going to be famous for, known for. Excuse me. Okay, his career is over. Can people get a comeback? Of course, of course. A lot of people have comebacks. I don't know for him, but you just never know. But at the end of the day, like I said, I hope he is a changed man. I hope he's really sincere. And I also hope that he actually really, really learned his lesson. I hope he really did. And that's all I'm going to say about that, you guys. Thank you so much again. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate all of you just taking the time and joining in and watching this video and commenting, liking. I really, really appreciate it. I could not do this without you, without God, without my family supporting me with doing all this, even though I have no idea where this is going. But I am having fun doing this and feeling comfortable in my own skin and doing content videos and putting it on my YouTube channel and just talking about different things that I like to talk about and just express my opinions and my point of view. And again, I really love each and one of you. And thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And I don't know what else to say. It really means so much to me. You have no idea. So thank you so much. I really appreciate each and one of you. Take care. God bless. And I will see you guys on Friday.